Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day and welcome to a video talking about a much requested topic. And honestly, today is the best day to make a video on this because literally, I want to say 10 minutes before I started recording this, there's a series of tweets put out by Wizard101 themselves. And they were talking about exactly what we're going to be talking about, which is how we were expected to get all of the new Spellements in test realm right now. Obviously, this comes as a surprise to nobody, right? There's a lot of Spellements in test realm. Every spell is very, very different. And honestly, some of these spells are extremely good when you upgrade them all the way up to tier 5. So the question on everyone's mind is, how in the world is someone expected to use these spells? And how are we supposed to upgrade it, especially if we want to go up and upgrade it to to levels that we've never seen spells even reach? Today in a series of tweets, Wizard101 somewhat answered that question. So I'm gonna put the tweet on the screen so that you guys can follow it with me. And I'm gonna be giving my, my honest response with some of these, because some of these are great, I guess, but honestly, a lot of these are a little iffy if you ask me. The first one is the most obvious one, and I think we already knew this going in. This is just basically like the general framework, I guess, for Spellements in general. And I think this is by far the worst way to get Spellements right now, mainly because it's simply level locked. The first way you can get them is if you're low enough level. Basically, if you're whatever world you're in, you could farm that world and get Spellements in it. But let's say that I have an account with 6 max wizards and a whole legendary wizard. There is no reward for the fact that I've spent this much time playing the game. There's no advantage that I've had for putting this much time into the game. There's nothing for me. What I will have to do if I want to use a method where I have to be low enough level to farm is that I will have to delete this legendary wizard, make a lower level wizard, and then gradually level them up world by world and farm the Spellements through the worlds as I go. So the way it works is, if you're like, if you're in Wizard City, you have until you finish the Wizard City quest line to farm for all of your, I don't know, I guess, rank 1 Spellements. Like, I don't know, I guess, because there's 6 ranks and 5 worlds in the first arc. So I assume that either there's gonna be like rank 5 and 6 Spellements in Dragonspire, 3 and 4 in like Marleybone, something like that's gonna happen. And I'm not really saying that it needs to be that, you don't need to be reimbursed for all the Spellements that you've lost out by leveling up, but there should be a way to defeat bosses and gain Spellements at high level. Right now, you can only do, so you're telling me that the only Spellements you could ever farm for at high level are Shads, and if you do Beast Moon, I guess you can do that? It's a little ridiculous considering this entire update surrounds spells that are not Shads and they're not Beast Moon Spellements. So by far, this approach in terms of Spellements, I feel like it is easily the least popular one. I've seen all kinds of tweets about it. I feel the exact same way because I am not rewarded for putting time into the game. I literally don't have any advantage for having 7 wizards. That's, I don't know, like, I feel like they've never done that before, and I don't get it. You should be rewarding people who play the game more, not punishing them. So it is a weird iffy one, but I guess it's not like that consistent of a thing anyways, because there's no telling if you're farming, I don't know, like BD Rini or something. Like there's no guarantee that you're gonna get whatever Spellement that you want. The second approach is probably the best one, in my opinion, and that's basically you get a retriever talent, and then you go out of your way to go from wooden chest to wooden chest for a chance of getting Spellements. Now, I don't actually have a retriever pet in test realm. I've only made it in live realm, but basically the way that it works, if you guys know how will casts work, right? You basically have a talent, and it says something is trained onto it, and then you could unlock that talent with tokens. Basically, the 2 ways you can get these Spellements is by getting retriever talents. One of them is elemental retriever, the other one is spirit retriever, and the tokens, you can farm them from gauntlets. They're pretty easy to farm, I would say, but I guess it's kind of a grind to get it. But once you unlock it, it's just like a will cast, and the idea is, right, you can basically walk around everywhere, Wizard City, Crocotopia, wherever you want to go, and you basically got to scavenge around for wooden chests. And if you have a pet with elemental retriever on, for example, and you open up a wooden chest, then you can get a chance at getting any of the elemental Spellements, and you have also a small chance at getting like a balanced Spellement. What if I had an elemental retriever pet and I opened this? I would have a very, very good chance of getting one of the 3 elements of rank 1 Spellements or a Scarab Spellment. Now, this is actually not terrible because there is a cooldown if you guys are unfamiliar with how these retriever talents work. Once you open a chest and get a Spellment, there's a 5-minute cooldown. but nothing stops you from actually exchanging your pet from one wizard to another and going through. I believe you can also make multiple pets with multiple elemental retriever and spirit retriever talents. So once you get a Spellment, you can actually switch the pet over and then look for a new wooden chest on the same character and get more and more Spellments. I actually think this is going to be my preferred method, if I'm being honest, because I can actually do it on multiple wizards. I can do it on my max wizard. That actually makes a lot of sense. And honestly, yeah, I don't have as much control over which Spellment I get, because elemental retrievers 4 schools basically. So I don't have control, but I guess since I have so many wizards, that doesn't affect me as much. But there's a big issue. While elemental retriever is already a talent in multiple pets, spirit retriever is not a talent in multiple pets yet. In fact, it's only gonna be a talent in an upcoming Beast Moon pet. That's fine and all, but from what I've heard, this Beast Moon pet might not be coming right when Test ROM goes in a live ROM, which would make this an extremely incomplete update on that end. What that would mean is that if you were to know how to do this, schools that are fire, ice, and storm would have a much easier job getting Spellments that are extremely good for every school, and the spirit schools are going to be left behind, right? Like, you will not be able to upgrade your stone colossus. You won't be able to upgrade your goat monks, your centaurs, but you will be able to upgrade your tritons, your elephants, and your colossus much earlier if the spirit retriever talent isn't available readily. And again, that's a big shame, but more importantly than that, it is a very bad design to let people of some schools have access to Spellments with one method that is not available to every school. I hope that that's wrong. If spirit retriever does come out in this upcoming update on any pet, I think that's a great, just announce any pet. If that talent is already ready to go, they could put it on any pet, and I think it would be a very good idea. By far, I think this is one of the better ways to do it, but I guess it's not it's one of 3. So let's move on to the 3rd way that we are expected to get world Spellements. Now, this method is probably the best way to get the most Spellements because it requires a lot of people, so I assume that you get more Spellements out of it. But it actually involves a new cantrip system. So the way it works, right, if you go to my man's Hampshire Butterfield, if you do the main cantrips quest line, he'll actually show you how to open chests. And the way those chests work is that they require at least 2 other wizards to do it with you. Now, that's cool and all. I mean, the fact that there's chests everywhere, I guess we don't yet know the details of where these chests are going to be. I assume that they spawn in places where you do stuff with teams. But the big key factor here is that, yes, you can open up chests, but it costs energy. So it is going to be something that you can only do a limited amount of times, even if you happen to have a group to do it with. So yes, you might get more Spellments, but it's a much more limited thing because you can't do it endlessly, right? At least with Elemental Retriever or Spirit Retriever, you can put on a new pet with the talent, you can switch wizards, and you can also switch realms if wooden chests seem to be running out. You have a lot of ways to make it so you can keep on getting Spellments. You can't really do that right now with cantrips. I guess if you have a lot of crowns, you can use a lot of energy elixirs. I guess that's a thing, but that's somewhat pay to play, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. Overall, I'll be very honest. I honestly don't mind the retriever aspect of it. I think it's a cool idea to actually make wooden chests relevant. And yeah, it has a 5-minute cooldown, but at least there's some ways around it. Not great ways. If you're switching wizards, not great, but you know, there's something. I also don't mind cantrips. It encourages team activity, and you know, it seems like, you know, like if you don't actually use your energy for a lot of other things, you can use it for that. Not a bad idea. The one that I have a gigantic issue with, as I think you guys can tell, is the one where it's basically world locked whether you can farm bosses or not. And again, I'm not saying that it makes sense for you to Tempest spam on a max wizard at low levels to get a bunch of Spellments, but there should be something you can farm at decent difficulty where you can get Spellments. If like, I wouldn't even mind if like the Lemuria boss dropped Spellments. I wouldn't mind if the Caramel final boss dropped it. Like, if the idea is that difficulty should be like, you know, like it should gatekeep your ability to get too many Spellments, that's fine, but why not just add that at max levels so that people that are max can get it? I really don't know what I'm going to be doing other than Retriever and Cantrips. I guess if I'm desperate, I will be making a low-level wizard, but that's literally going to involve deleting a whole wizard. So I am very disappointed in that one. Again, at least this would have been a train wreck if that was the only way to get Spellments. So I'm looking at the bright side on this, but I think I'm with a lot of people with their opinions on this one. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think of the Cantrips way, the Retriever way, and obviously the world farming way? How do you guys think you guys are going to get Spellments? And you guys think it's going to be enough to allow enough people to get Spellmans to make PvP and PvE and the spells we've come to know and love feel actually different? Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. I think this is going to be a fiery topic, which is why I wanted to make a video on it. As always, drop a like if you enjoyed, leave us something new, and as if somebody has not told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong, so stay awesome. And yeah.